Hello and welcome, I'm Mystical. This is Mystical Gaming. Grab yourself a cuppa as we jump into Watcher Realms, and today we're going over some Guild versus Guild. It's Guild Wars is coming up. We've only got a few days left now, so I thought best to start getting some stuff out about it before we start prepping our defences. Now there's a couple of things I've got to do first. I need to do a quick shout out to a couple of guildmates. They are here. So these two here, they done the tower and done a keep defense for me, and it's just so we can run our guardian guards through, and then we can have a look at where to place tanks and what units will get hit if you're putting them on a platform, if you put your tank there. And it's just a bit of a walkthrough really, so we know what to look at when we're building up our defense. And that's pretty much the proviso for today's video. So it'll be our the guardian guards will walk through the map. They will go through everything, both on the tower and the keep. We'll stop them when we come across a tank, and then we will be able to show the platforms where you don't want to place people if you're placing a tank there. The flip side to this video, obviously, is the fact that come whenever the matches go live, you can look out for people who haven't watched this and then have placed their platform base in the wrong place, and you can send them. You can send your guardian guards out to actually take them on as well. So sort of a bit of a twofold video as well, okay? But many thanks to Lil and Cap for actually putting up the defences for me as well, okay? Right, so let's jump into the first one then. So the first one is Lil's tower. There you go, we've got a little healer just at the end, that's all we've got, and then we can march through our guardian guards, and then like I say, we'll stop it when we actually hit somewhere so you can see what's going on. I think yeah, I'm enough out of the way. Right, just checking before we go on. So send them round, and then the first place you'd be able to put a tank is here. So if you place your tank here, then these are the areas on the map that you'll be able to be hit by the guards, okay? So if you place your tank there, bear in mind you don't place any platform units there. Also bear in mind, again, like I was saying, that if you're playing against someone who has put a tank there and they've got platform units there, you will be able to take on their platform units, okay? But depending on who they put there and what, then bear that in mind. But if you've got a long enough reach, then there's no reason you can't put a ground base unit there with a long enough reach coming over, but they would need a substantial reach, okay? So just sort of bear that sort of thing in mind, okay? Right, let's go on to the next place where we can next put a tank down. Next tank there, they're the platform bases that we will be able to hit. So if our tank goes there, they're the platform bases we can hit. So sort of just bear this sort of stuff in mind as we go through it. There we are, there, that's probably a little bit better. We're not getting as many. Now I know the one directly to his left, the guard's left, and the one directly on the bottom two here would be able to be hit, but I haven't highlighted them because that's pretty obvious. Right, onwards. Now I will probably build up my defences tomorrow. I just want to have a quick look at this to make sure I know what I'm doing and where I'm going, where I want to be able to put them. So very possibly here looks like a nice place, and then I've got some platforms around the back there that I will be able to come in. Now we can see our healer is available to be hit. I won't be able to take that on. I mean, she'll overheal through that. And there's our next place. That's probably a little deep for a tank for me. That's taken out some of the platforms, but the one previous to that is looking quite nice. I think that's perfectly doable there. This is getting far too late in the match to start having tanks here, because we're going to take those places out. Something to know, the top one up here, the top red one, if you've got someone here and your tank's down here, as you come across, you will be able to take that slot out there with archers anyway. So if you're trying to bait people, make sure you've got someone who is either a healer who can heal through a couple of archers, or make sure they're being healed enough that the archers can't just take them out straight away. So little thing to actually watch out for us there. There's the last sort of place you will be able to put a tank down, and that's it. We're pretty much out from there. There we are. Yeah, so that's the first run through the tower. Just bear in mind those places that we said that if you put a tank, they're the platforms that you cannot use, okay? So right, Captain's put this one up for us, many thanks to Hit for them for putting this up for us, because it enables us to do these little walkthroughs and see where we can and can't put units. Right, however, I will get me out of the way. I think I'm going to be very much in the way here. That should do us. Should be enough out of the way there, and then we can see he's put he's put someone down on the platform down here for us, which is fine. So we can have a full walk through and actually see what's happening. So there's our guard coming down. They will come down the whole way, and then they will stop when we get to the first tank. We'll put the first tank up and we'll mark off the areas. So remember, this is the keep, this isn't the tower. Okay, so there we go. There's the first place that we're going to get hit from, or we can hit back from, so bear that in mind. If your tank goes there, they're the squares that you want to avoid, or the platforms you want to avoid. There we go. There's probably somewhat better. If you're placing a tank, there's not too many points that we can actually hit from there. As we come across, we can take that out, but there we go. There's our next space available for our next tank. Now we've got quite a walk on before we get to our next tank position, but then we've got the platforms behind them as well as we go on. There we go, marching on further, and we should start seeing tank coming up now. And then of course we will be able to get the units below us as we come through as well. Remember, there's a little unit down here, down at the bottom left of the screen, and then there we are there. Just started. This is where we're actually going to turn the corner now, and we'll start the face going up that far left hand lane there. But remember, if you've got enough reach, then you can reach from all the way back, and you can't be targeted. But these platforms over to the right that we're just passing now, we would hit the two on the right here. We would hit them long before we actually get to them. We'd hit them as we start to come down this bottom rung here, so they would easily be taken out. This one just above here that we can't hit from this point here, being with the tank, you would hit when you're 3 tiles below it. You would be able to hit up to it there, so just bear that in mind. This is only where you position your tanks you'll be able to hit them from, not as you're walking through. Okay, so make sure you're aware of that. Now we've got 2 more spaces left for the tanks, just right at the top here. I think that's going to be leaving it a little too late. Obviously the bigger brains out there than me, and they will probably prove me wrong, but I think this is leaving it a bit late for you to actually put your tanks up here. And there we go, there's the last place there. And then after that one's gone, we can actually just walk out and have done with it. So there you go. There's a quick walkthrough on where, if you place your tank, the units that are targetable from that. So you do need to be aware of that before we build up any defenses. So like I say, for tomorrow I will probably build up my defense. That's what I need to know first, and then I'm going to chuck in some defenses as well. Now feel free to watch the video over and over again, particularly if you're watching it in weeks to come as well and you're attacking people. Thank you very much. And then you'll be able to see where you're attacking. So this is my defense at the moment. It's not absolutely brilliant. There we go. I need to change mine, so I will be changing mine tomorrow, and we'll do that on a video as well. I've got a few defenses that I've been marking down from the Forerunner server that work quite well, so we'll have a look at those and see which ones we can put up as well. Okay, so we'll have a couple of defenses that have done well on the Forerunner because they've been running for the last couple of weeks in season 8, so they've got a bit more traction on that already. Okay, so we'll have a look at those defenses and see which ones have been doing well, and then we will place one of those in, or a couple of those in. Now when we make up our defenses, just to make sure, and we'll go over this tomorrow as well, just line up, do try and do a tower defense, and also try and put up a keep defense as well, and that way whoever in charge of your guild or your cluster, they can actually move you around from tower to keeps depending on their need and their requirements for the fight as well. So just help your guild out a little bit by doing up both sorts of defenses, and that way it just helps you go along a little bit easier and helps your guild leaders and vices do a little bit better in prepping for the matches. Okay, so make sure you've done that right. But we'll go over a tower. I'll put up a tower, and I'll put up a couple of keep defenses tomorrow, and then I will go through, like I say, the ones that are doing well on the Forerunner, and you can have a sort of a mix and match over which ones you need or which ones you're looking at as well for yourself. Okay, right, that's me done for today. I hope this is a good start for you. Thank you very much for your time, and I will see you in a video again tomorrow where we will set up our guild versus guild defenses. Cheers for your time. Thank you. Goodbye.